Welcome to another episode of Behind the Science Rockstar Edition. I'm your host, Jennifer Fournier. The cornerstone of many rockstar bands here at Waters have always had one key instrument, the liquid chromatography instrument, or LC for short. So my first stop on our blast from the past journey is to find Joe, our in-house chromatographic instructor who has been with Waters for more than 40 years. He has taught so many of us here the basics of chromatography. So the question I have for you is, do you believe in magic? Let's join him in his classroom to find out more. Welcome to Liquid Chromatography 101. Class is about to begin.
In liquid chromatography, the prime question is to retain or not to retain. That's how we get our separation. The best part of learning about chromatography is actually seeing it work. So we're going to do a very simple experiment. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black ink, and I'm just going to use a paper towel. And if you watch, as I drop the black ink onto the paper towel, you see sort of something developing. But the magic of chromatography happens when I add some water to that paper towel. And what we're going to do is you can take this black ink solution and it will develop a beautiful separation of, in this case here, reds and green. This next experiment, we're going to move from paper chromatography to an actual liquid chromatographic cartridge. What we have here is a plastic tube with some white silica powder inside. Okay? Now we're actually going to put the sample through the cartridge, and you can follow it going through. And notice how we actually are getting a separation to take place. But in this case here, the chromatographic device has much more power and is actually separating a blue compound from a yellow compound, and on the paper towel, there was no separation. And now that you've seen liquid chromatography with your very own eyes, you have your own paper towels, so let's do some liquid chromatography yourself.
Wow, it's like magic.
But Joe, hasn't chromatography advanced since then?
Yes, it has, Kim. Take a look at this. On this screen, you can actually see the amazing advancements that have taken place. We've gone from HPLC over here on the left, and we have an analogy here to an acoustic guitar, relatively limited. Far to the right, we have the H-class UPLC, and we have an analogy here to an electric guitar, so you can see that UPLC can give you much more power. And then in the middle, we have our hybrid instrument that does both HPLC and UPLC, and we have a modified electric guitar and a little synthesizer in there to help out. So over the years, you have an increasing amount of power and capability for separating compounds in your laboratory. Now let's follow the actual flow path of a liquid chromatographic instrument. Up on top left, we see the mobile phase being drawn out of the vessel into the pump, which is going to be pumping the liquid constantly through the instrument. It flows from the pump into the injection component of the instrument and then into the column, out of the column into the detector where the detector senses the different compounds that are being separated, and then eventually into the liquid waste stream. What a great class. I hope you understood what happens in the world of liquid chromatography. So go forth and separate. Thank you very much.
I believe in magic, all right. Chromatography is a powerful tool, and as Joe said, we only scratched the surface in this 101 class. But if you ask me, if I had to choose between an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar, I would choose electric every time. For this episode, check out the link below for access to the primer books that were mentioned, which are great intros to liquid chromatography or UPLC. And join us next time for another episode of Behind the Science Rockstar Edition.